boom.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
Boom!
boom in the milli 30.
Yes, sir. That's a big boom, bro.
Come on, man.
Yeah, I feel good. Getting the big boom. How y'all doing?
Good, brother.
Great, bro. How are you?
I'm doing good, bro. I This is tough. Amir, did you get to go to the gym? I know you were trying to do that earlier.
Come
I
on.
had to sacrifice tonight, you know?
I'm
I
gonna
had
be honest with
obligations.
you. That's huge, bro. It really means a lot to us, man.
That does,
Of
bro.
Seriously.
course,
That
bro, of
does.
course.
Because I know what a little workout, little late night workout means to
Oh,
you, you know?
yeah, bro.
Yeah, well, you know what I'll get on. I'll probably just go to the basement and then do whatever I can with like the
Yeah.
two dumbbells I have. But no
100%.
gym tonight.
Damn.
Yeah, bro. You really don't need that much.
Real.
You
Just need
know.
like a bench and dumbbells and you can do like 80% of things.
Oh, you have a bench?
Yeah,
Oh, then that's huge, bro. Yeah.
right. Adjust all the
You
way
have
up to
like,
90 degrees, do shoulder press, like you can do anything.
yeah, bro. Exactly. Yeah.
I just need like a pull-up bar, which is also easy. You can just buy one that you can impose on any wall and you can do any
Yeah, I have one of
back
those.
variation. Yeah. So yeah, that's
You
what
can
I
do
got to
also,
get.
you
But
can just do pull day with that. You can do biceps, you can do back, you can do everything.
real. And then you could use the bench to do rows and then you can just do the vertical pulls on the pull-up bar and then that's like you said,
Exactly.
basically whole back day.
What's this guy do?
Ah,
Uh,
bro.
no, exactly.
Hey, you know what this guy means to me, man. This is really,
Yes, sir, bro.
when I
4 year
messaged him,
roommate.
I said, this is really one of them ones. You know what I'm
No, he
saying?
is one of them ones. Seth is one
This
of
is
them ones.
really like, I'm tearing up right now. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
But I love this podcast because like the concept of mirror, I feel like it just represents our time in college. Like the
Like,
best moments we had were, and it's literally like this because you have a blend. You keep it light. There's some joking. You'll talk about trivial things like sports every once in a while, but then you have the philosophy part of it. So it's like the nice blend, and it keeps it refreshing and engaging. And that's literally what me and Amir, that was our college experience. We would joke, we would banter like all the time, and then we would have like these hour-long talks about serious things, about life, about how to be good people, good men, how to be responsible. Like, so it's really, I just love that y'all are doing this, dude. I
Bro,
was binging all of them like the last couple of days, and I was just like, this is perfect.
bro, you have no idea how much that means to me, bro.
No,
That's
really, I love that. And if nothing,
that's
like, I'm so glad. I wish we had some sort of record of those types of like, those types of conversations we had, Amir. I think this has the potential to like get big, but also just for the fact that now it's archived and it's showing this. You'll be able to come back to this. Other people can tune in and see it and see that value. So I just love this whole concept. This is awesome.
totally, bro.
throw in something. Those conversations, like, so like organic, like they
Yeah,
weren't fixed. Like I'm talking, like Big H. These conversations would happen at like 2 a.m.,
yeah,
1 p.m.,
Yeah,
middle of the
living
day,
together, yeah.
like just random stuff. And it was like they just meant so much to me. Like this guy's about to make me do it. I ain't trying to do all of that. But like,
no, really. And we would say it all the time. Like those were our favorite parts of college. And then towards junior and senior year, we were able to branch it out a little bit, talking to Tim and Dana. But I do feel like this is like the final extension of that kind of thing because it's bringing it out to everybody via the internet. So I just love how we took college and we found out this is something we love to do. And Amir, you're taking it one step further, dude. It just makes me so happy.
100%. I just want to say shout out to Big H, because just to share this with Big H,
Yeah,
like,
hats off. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, we're
Bro, it
really,
makes me so happy hearing the reviews, bro. This is incredible. They're like,
yeah, bro.
you forget that people actually watch it, which again, like you're saying, doesn't even matter. Like it
like,
really is just about like, we get to talk to you. We get to talk to Zach Grisser. We get to talk to my friend from abroad. It's like random cool people. Amir's friend from high school, like,
Right,
school.
right,
facts. Like,
And like do this same thing, like you're saying that we love.
right.
100% Big H. But like, shout out to like everyone that's watching, like our family, our friends. Like, we truly appreciate this. But like, not to sound selfish, but I'm really doing this so when I'm 80 years old, I can look back
Right.
and be like, man, like that's what I was thinking. Like that's how like I was talking and this is what I was wearing and these are the people I was with and like that's really what I'm doing this for. You get what I'm saying? And just to share this moment with my friends and my family and like it's powerful. Like this means so much to me. Like I tell Big H this all the time. I say, yo, don't matter what time. Let me know when I'm here. 10 p.m.
Yeah.
Either. That's
11 p.m.
exactly.
Bermuda, like it doesn't matter. 7 a.m. I'm here. I'm here.
Good man.
You
And
know,
that's how it was in the dorm room, dude. But that's what you just said is again, it's so true because the one thing that I regret is again, those memories will fade. What we talked about freshman year, I don't necessarily remember, but I know that it evolved to what we were talking about senior year. But now you started this podcast in the spring of this year. Your opinions will probably change episode to episode, but you'll be able to mark that progress. Like you just said, when you're 80 years old, you'll see this evolution of how you went from, a young man to an old Amir grandpa and see how everything changed. Like year by year by year. So keep it going, man. Keep it going as long as possible because that's the one thing that again I regret is that we're fallible. Our memory fades. So this is amazing. I love that it's gone digital.
Appreciate it, bro.
you appreciate that.
Um, all right, man. Well, I mean, do we need any more introduction to me or
Now, maybe we need more. This is one of them ones. Feel me?
is there?
This is, we were roommates for 3 years, man. At Bates, we met freshman year. Seth lived across from me. Big 2K
Oh,
fan.
that's right. Yeah.
We lived in Milliken. Shout out Milliken, man. Real
Real.
talk. Millie Gang, you know who you are.
Shout out Levia. Levia really was the
Yeah.
glue.
Shout out Levia. Shout out Ultimate Fangirl, 100%.
100%.
100%. Shout out, well, what was his name, Seth, that cleaned up our dorm?
Shane? Oh, Ron.
Shout out Ron, man. A lot of love and respect for
Ron
Ron.
was a real one.
Real one. Real one. So it's like, bro, I'm trying to keep this together because it's like this is really emotional for me because it's like you see me through the good, through the bad. Like you saw under all, like you saw who I was as a person. Like we lived together,
Yeah.
big you guys that had moments, man. We're going a week. We're not speaking to each other, but we live in the same room.
Real.
We're beefing, but we live in the same room. You know?
Yeah. We had a lot of wars, man.
Hey,
We
we
had like
guys
at
have
least two, three
wars, big H.
wars.
Wars. So it's
But like
What were the
that'd
wars
be
about?
weird. All type of stuff. Like it
all
was
type
some
of stuff.
stupid things, it was some serious thing. Like it was a whole mix, dude. Like
We guys have wars, but at the end of the day, it was always love. Like one of us will always be like, "Yo, all right, we gotta talk about it. We gotta talk this out because
yeah. And I feel like that's only natural. Like you live with somebody for three, practically 4 years. You don't have any like times you butt heads. There's something wrong. Like you can't be that close proximity to somebody and not have an issue pop up once in a while. So I
Totally.
feel like that's only natural. But
Totally.
but
It's
like you
always
said, it
important
was
just to
always
talk
love.
about it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, me and Henry will be roommates. I mean, like, I guess technically since we went abroad now, like 3 years, but like freshman to senior year. And no, we definitely had our times that, we got to talk through stuff. But as long as, we never stay quiet for too long, like you said, like eventually you just like, let's talk about something.
we some real dogs. We have pride, man. Hey, a whole week.
Yeah,
We guys a whole week straight. We feel like but it's like those moments we truly appreciate, like playing basketball together, banter, ping pong.
bro, did you like fight about basketball or something, bro?
Bro, you guys are brothers, man. You guys go to war about anything. It could be as little as in comments. You didn't
Real.
get nothing. Like it could be lit. Like you feel me? Like this is my brother, man. This is really my guy.
Okay.
But we guys are gonna jump into it. But Seth,
Yeah, to get into it, bro.
you know how much you mean to me, man. I truly appreciate you, man. Real.
Likewise, brother. You know.
All right, so quote of the day. Been thinking a lot about the Dalai Lama, so I got another quote from the Dalai Lama. Remember that sometimes not getting what you want, is a wonderful stroke of luck. And for the philosophy segment today, so I actually saw O Smith recently. She's like finished some language school. She came and like had dinner with all of us. Like we had Riley eating here, because she works on the farm. Hazel was here. It was a great time. And I was talking to her about her quote on the Instagram and all. And it was basically saying how silly it would be, how silly it is that we get surprised by things in the world. They and I think I talked to you about this last week, Amir, but like how silly it is that we get surprised by anything when we don't actually understand the world around us. Um, and I was curious, like, how do you guys, and also connecting to the quote today, how do you guys react to things not going your way? And does it help you to remember that we don't know anything about the world? Like, does that help you cope with things? Do you use that, and do you think it's a good form of coping with like things not going your way?
Yeah, I think the when I heard the quote, the thought that came to my mind first was that I think what we want is often it's very short term. Like we tend to not have a good idea of what's going to benefit us the most in the long term, or this idea of delayed versus short term gratification. That being that when we say that we want something, that's often playing to that short term gratification, whether it's like, I want to go work out tonight like I wanted to do versus the long-term benefit of having this important moment with you guys that again will exist forever versus missing one workout. Or it could be anything. It could be something really detrimental to you in the moment that a lot of people recognize, but again, they want that short-term high, that short-term pleasure versus something that is more fulfilling in the long term, but we don't have as clear of a view because it's so far away. So I think that that quote is obviously important for those exact reasons because we just need to always be taking a step back in order to get that to keep that long-term perspective in view because it's just such a I see it so much. Me and Amir would actually talk about this. This is one of our favorite things to talk about was that we noticed on the college campus and in college um, culture, across the country even a lot of people they don't have that long-term gratification in mind or a delayed gratification, excuse me, versus that short-term gratification. So it's really just balancing those and finding ways to remind yourself that that's the really deep, fulfilling type of experience versus a lot of these things that we give flash in our faces throughout, the college life cycle. So that was a little bit of a all over the place, but that was just what initially
Love
came
it.
to my mind when I heard the Dalai Lama quote.
Love
100%.
it.
And
What are your thoughts, Amir?
but this reminds me because I went to church on Sunday and my pastor he dropped a quote from James chapter 1 verses 2 and it says consider it nothing but joy my brothers and sisters whenever you fall into various trials and what that means is like when negative things or situations happen to you in life and trials take place in life consider it joy if that makes any sense. Like look at it from like, man, like this gets to happen to me, or like yay that this happened to me. Because on the other side of that pain, of that short term pain, it's gonna make you stronger, if that makes any sense. And it's like that's something that I
Yeah,
try to live by as well. Like little things, like if I don't like how someone's talking to me, or I don't like I'm like, okay, like how can I be positive in this situation? What are they going through? Like, how can I help them in this situation? So that's kind of like my new philosophy, which I kind of just adopted, which is like turn that negative into a positive. Like it doesn't matter the situation.
totally.
Consider it joy, you know?
I love it, bro.
It's not easy though. It's not easy doing that, but
Oh, it's definitely not easy. Yeah, I always think about, I love what both you said, and I always think about like the basis of like kind of what I was touching on is like, it's foolish of me to think that there's another universe out there. That like, oh, I wish this happened, that it could have gone that way. That's a made up idea in my head because like things are just how they are. Whatever is going on, whatever the reality is, that's all I really know. So it's ridiculous of me to assume something else. And like I was thinking of it because I was talking about this with her. And I was talking to my dad about it. So me and my buddies put together like this tournament, like pickup tournament every year. It's like we've done like six now, like one every summer. We like draft teams and put together a tournament. And my team, I won last year. It was awesome. And then this year we were like the first team out. We did terrible. And towards the end, it was like a close game. We had a couple like chances at the end that didn't go our way. And I was just kind of after the game, I was like, you know what? Like, we could have won, but we didn't. And so, like, maybe something bad would have happened if we did win, you know? And so, like, this universe that I'm in is great how it is, you know? I'm just gonna appreciate like whatever like timeline I'm in. And then there was some like bad things out. The weather got really bad. There's a bunch of dehydration, like some guy it got kind of dangerous. And I was thinking, I was like, I really think that something bad might have happened. You know what I mean? So it would be foolish of me to think better of other universes that I'm not in, especially since there's no changing it, you know? I was a little all over the place as well, but yeah, no, I love all the way that all the different, I feel like all of us kind of think of it in like slightly different ways.
Yeah, that reminds me of something. I don't know if you guys have taken like statistics classes here, but there's this idea of the counterfactual where you might have, an experiment go one way and you assume that that's how it would play out in every case, but you don't have the counterfactual where you could have perfect controls and see and set each variable exactly the same. So it's really what you said remind me of that because it's this idea that you think that things would be way better off in this other scenario, but there's all these other confounding variables that have changed that have made this exact scenario the way it is, that and you would have no way to know unless you had this perfect, impossibly perfect experiment ran. So I totally agree with you, and you can kind of drive yourself crazy, always thinking about what could have been or why something went wrong in a minute way, but that minute way might have been like we were talking about earlier, the path towards this better end result. And that's kind of what I think is the crux of it, is that it's rarely a short-term negative or a short-term hardship is rarely it's rarely bad in itself, because I think every long-term gain requires short-term hardship. I don't think that you've ever like you could ever reach some, crowning achievement without short-term negatives,
Totally.
without enduring some pain. So it's like I just think that's kind of, encapsulates the whole conversation, which is you can't focus or you can't, get down about any sort of adversity because I mean, we hear it all the time. It's kind of a cliche, but that's so necessary. So you should actually welcome that because that's an indication that you're going to get to something that you will actually care about and you will be fulfilled by.
And to piggyback off of that, Seth, I feel like love is the same way, like in relationships, with friends, with your spouse or girlfriend, and all of that other stuff, like just having relationships with people. It's going to be negative things that happen in your relationship, and it's all about how you weather that storm, if that makes any sense. And like, I don't know, like just thinking back to my relationships, like my relationships, like the loving and stuff like that. It's like those people, like we've been through things, we've been through those battles. Like it really means something, and like the love, it made us stronger and stuff like that. So yeah, that's kind of how I look at love. Like I don't look at love as something that's like a constant state. Like it's all smooth, it's all good, it's all great. I think love is both sides of the coin, positive and negative.
Yeah.
You gotta embrace it.
Also, you can't have any confidence in a relationship if it's never been stress tested. Like if it's never had any, it's it's funny. It's like what we were just saying about being
Like,
roommates for
yeah.
3 years. You've
Mhm.
never had any oscillations, any fights, it's just been completely, a linear. That's not real. That makes me think there's something disingenuous going on, honestly. That's not so I
Well,
totally agree with you,
you gotta give
especially in the
each other
con.
silent treatment for a week straight to be real.
Yeah, well, maybe not that, but you know what I mean. You got
Yes.
to get into some disputes.
Yeah.
silent treatment for a week was a little bit much, but it's true. It's true.
Totally. Love it. All right, man. All right, I love that. I love hearing what you guys had to say, man. Dude, it's amazing how like talking to you guys, talking to all the people we have on, talking to Amir, talking to other people in general that like, think about these things. Like it clears up your own thoughts too, helps you build and like figure out what you're really thinking about. Um, but all right, so on to the sports segment. I was thinking about, one I want to hear Seth. Wait, so Seth, where are you from again?
I'm from DC, and I'm in
DC. So
DC
are you
right
like
now.
all Washington? All Washington stuff?
Yeah, yeah. I live very close to Maryland, so sometimes I tell people I'm from
Okay,
Maryland, not DC, but technically DC.
nice. Oh yeah, I think I did know that. But first, I thought we'd talk about, Bates Sports, wore this shirt.
I thought that's what you
I
had
know
on. I
Amir was
recognize it.
there. Amir
Nah,
didn't believe in us, but Seth, how many intramural championships have you won? Two? Or did you win?
no, that's the only one we won
I
because
thought you won
the year
soccer.
before that. Oh yeah, yeah. I was thinking basketball.
Hey,
No,
Seth,
you're
tell
right.
Big
One,
H
yeah.
the story though. Tell him the story of getting up to that chip.
I
We
mean, he
did.
knows the story because you
No, no,
you
no,
were on
no.
one of
The
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 PKs,
history.
right?
The history.
what history? I mean, we were freshman year. We were the exact same team minus you, minus Jimmy, minus those might have been the only two people. But anyways, the same group. We had AJ. That was the only change was that we lost AJ. We got you. We got Jimmy. Otherwise, it was the same group. We went to the championship sophomore year, junior year, and senior year. And then, as you know, Hayden won senior year. Best
Wait, you
time
were
to
in the
win, honestly.
championship sophomore year? I was in the championship freshman year.
No, not freshman year.
No, but
Sophomore.
your sophomore year, my freshman year.
Well, were you on which team
But
were you
I
on? Jeremiah's
subbed for
team?
a team. I subbed for the team.
Yeah, yeah. I remember we played you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Remember?
Yeah, yeah.
And then the
We
next year
lost
was
them
the
in the semis, but they didn't have a goalkeeper.
Yep, I remember.
Like,
Oh wait, are you talking about soccer?
yeah.
Oh, I'm talking about
No, so you
basketball.
talking
Oh, you're
about
talking about
basketball. But we
basketball.
get the soccer. We get the soccer, but
Oh,
we
sorry, sorry. I thought you was
Yeah.
talking about because Amir
No,
wasn't there
because
for
you were on, you did sub for another team we played sophomore year, either in the semifinals or the finals.
It
Because
might have
weren't
been
you
the
on
finals, I
Jeremiah's
think.
team? Yeah. But anyways,
Anyway,
yeah.
no, but basketball more important. Okay, that makes way more sense. You're talking about basketball.
Yeah. No,
Um,
soccer, I was only part of the team senior year, so I can't give you the history on that one.
oh,
How do
that's
you
right.
even part of that team? And we're gonna get in that too, because you're acting real weird. You're acting real strange now.
What?
Because how is your best friend in the finals with all of your people, like all of the Millie people, and then you just want to go bandwagon and cheer for the other team?
Because I wasn't technically on your roster. I was on their roster.
To hear that, man. Well, what's happening,
Yeah,
Gage? I ain't trying to hear that.
Bro, I can't argue with the IM spreadsheet, bro. Like my name was on the roster.
exactly, bro. Come on.
Can't switch up.
No, we can't do that.
Hayden would
Gotta
have kicked me
enforce
out
the
of
rules, bro.
IM if I did something like that. That would have been like a
Gotta
violation of
enforce the
like
rules, bro.
league policy or something.
Wait, but yeah, bro, basketball, bro, I remember because it was really painful your junior year when it was like you guys were up 10, like 2 minutes
Yeah.
left.
Oh, you saw that?
Well, I was there, yeah, yeah, because I
Yeah.
run it all. Or not like run it, but like I'm like doing whatever. And
CEO.
so I have to go to like every game. And then senior year though, dude, that whole season was just like playing in perfection. Like we lose to like a team we definitely should have beaten, like the lowest.
Soccer team. Come
We
on.
end up we lose to who ends up being the lowest team. But
Right.
it showed that every piece Jimmy wasn't there, it showed that every piece of the team was so important. Like
Really.
obviously Eli was our most important player. Eli was like did tons of scoring, tons of defense, right? He was huge on both ends of the court. But like not having Jimmy there is huge.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And that was probably the worst team we lost to all 3 years. Like
No,
not
yeah.
even just senior year. So
I mean,
I
they were pretty
100%
good
agree.
that they genuinely they were good and they
Well,
played
they
pretty
had that.
well.
Didn't they have one player who scored like
Andrew Goddard, yeah, he's really good, bro.
yeah. Um,
No,
so I don't know.
they
I
were
mean,
definitely solid. They just ended up being the last seed, which I was surprised about. Also, Noah is very good.
Yeah,
And
Noah was
Wilson's been
actually on
nice.
our team. I forgot about him. And then we kind of traded him for
Yes,
you, I
bro, that's
guess.
right.
Yeah, which it
Um,
worked out.
all right, so and DC, so you're a Wizards fan?
I mean, not really. I don't even follow sports like that anymore, to be honest with you.
Really? What,
Yeah,
Commanders? Not Commanders, bro?
no, no,
They're
no. I'm
electric,
just
bro.
tuned out. I'm like a old, boring, like just work slave now. Like
Wait,
I
what do
don't
you work?
even pay
What are you
attention.
doing for work?
So I just started an insurance company. It's like it's in again in Maryland, so that's why the
Oh,
commute
nice.
was hugely important. Reason why I did it. It's only like 15 minutes away from me. But I
Oh, cool.
started in June, so kind of getting into the
Nice.
flow of things now. It took about a month of training, and it's becoming real work now. So
Nice.
yeah,
Love it.
Big time.
Peace, bro.
What is big time?
Hey,
nah,
bro.
I'm not big time. I'm not big time. I'm a
Yeah,
rookie.
money big time. Put a shirt tonight. Money big time.
Yeah, straight from the office. This is business casual, apparently.
This
So,
actually straight from the office?
well, I didn't change. I had like 30 minutes before, but
Really? What time did you
yeah.
leave?
I left 5:30. Went to the grocery store, so it wasn't just like directly. But that's what I mean. I knew I could. I didn't have time to go gym, so I was like, what can I get done in this time?
Yeah,
Run some errands.
nice, bro, nice.
Money a full grown adult right now, but he said I went to the grocery store.
Yeah, I
Oh
know. That's what
God.
he does in his free time. Uh,
Yeah, well, it's because my I'm actually alone in the house right now because my family's on vacation, but I couldn't go because of the new job. So I'm having to. That's why I'm making grocery store runs on the regular.
nice. All right, bro, let's get into the final segment, the debate, the famous non-debate debate. Uh, all right, so talking about the concepts we were talking about before with like kind of accepting reality as it is, accepting what comes our way. Will leaning into these concepts lead to like a lack of motivation? What do you think about that? Like, do you feel like determinism, the idea that like we can't control reality, does that lead to a lack of motivation or no? How do you guys feel about that?
Yeah, I sort of believe in determinism, and of course the other side of that is I don't actually believe in free will, which is a whole we could do a whole like hour debate on
Totally.
that.
Bro, I love it
But I
already.
think that yeah, I think that it doesn't matter for me because I recognize that every action I take is ultimately the consequence of, a cocktail of brain chemicals and hormonal fluctuations and all these things that will inevitably occur and are out of my control because at the root they're biological, psychological. But anyways, I don't think that it matters that I don't believe in free will because I know that all these things are in effect my will. It's just not because of, sentience. It's because of my body, but it doesn't really affect how I think about things. So I don't think that that's useful for people to have that opinion and to really, concern themselves with whether free will exists or not. But yeah, as an aside, I don't, but I don't really think it matters. And I don't think that it's bad. For me, but for most people, I would say it's helpful to not be deterministic, to believe that they can, impact their life, they can motivate themselves out of a rut, and they're totally in control. They're the masters of their destiny. I think that's a more helpful attitude for people to have in general. So kind of a convoluted perspective, but
No, bro, I actually completely agree. I think that so hopefully maybe Amir's gonna disagree, so we get into a debate, but completely agree that like yeah, for some people that can definitely work, and I feel like that comfort of like free will is like, knowing that they can control things like feels good, that they like,
right.
that they're not just like floating and that like whatever comes to them, whatever happens to them happens. But actually, for me, like that's comfort to me is that I don't have any control. I can't make any mistakes because like things are gonna happen the way they happen. I don't actually. I love that you said the whole thing about like brain, like whatever you said. Like I don't know the exact
Right.
words, but
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, well, a lot of the things that really sorry to cut you off, but in terms of
oh yeah.
motivation and all these decisions we make, like a big driver of it that you all are familiar with is things like dopamine, like how much dopamine you have and how you tie that to each decision, each action, each difficult task. That's something that's kind of set. You know, you can take medications to influence that, but that's not something where you're like making a conscious decision saying, I'm gonna spike my dopamine for this next homework assignment, and that's gonna make it, infinitely easier for me to do. So that's what I mean by this, this splurge of things that are ultimately biological and out of your control, like dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, you know, and then there's the whole other category of hormonal things, which gets even more complicated. But yeah, that's sorry to cut you off. I just wanted
No, bro,
to
that's great.
get more
Thank
detail.
you. Because you also reminded me like of this conversation I was just having with my dad about like the goats and our cats, like just like living off their inclinations. Like whatever they feel like doing, they just do
Right.
it. Like they have an itch, they just scratch it. Like they want to like hurt another goat, they see food, they see grain, they just want it so bad. And they just live off their inclinations. And it's almost like it's funny that like, because if someone's like, battling a drug problem or something, they know like, oh, I'm inclined to do, I want to do this, but this I will be happier if I don't actually do it. It's like a physical inclination they reject.
Right.
But like still at the root of it, like you're saying with dopamine, like we still do kind of just live off the inclinations. We just do what makes us feel good and we do what will make us happy and calm and yeah, like higher dopamine, make us feel better. So like still at the root of it, we really do kind of live off inclinations. And that perfectly relates to like what you're saying about determinism and just like they're like we're just gonna make almost even though we think our decisions are conscious, they're kind of unconscious. Along with the fact that like we were talking about earlier in the first segment, like the world is like unpredictable and so things are going to be thrown at you and you basically have no control over it, which again, I feel like gives me comfort.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you say, Amir?
What do I say?
Also, by the way, bro, my mom says that you need to speak louder into the thing. Like
Amir Thomas.
I know you're so calm, like you're very I love the way you speak, it's so relaxing, but like the levels, I'll be talking and then all of a sudden you get on the thing and then they got to turn the speaker up.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I appreciate that though.
It's just funny though. It's like hilarious. We talk at different levels sometimes.
Definitely. I truly appreciate that. I agree. But uh, Seth, I have a question. So this
Yep.
dopamine thing, like okay, dopamine. I feel like what I feel like you can like reprogram what spikes that dopamine. Like, does that make any sense? I feel like you could reprogram like what, like you could reset your dopamines to benefit you into doing things that like might seem hard before, but are like easier now. Like for example, like going to the gym, for example, right? I mean, or for example, like doing like a hard homework assignment, and then like you're telling yourself, like, yeah, like I got this, like I'm up for it, and like just reprogramming your mind. So I kind of think like
Yeah.
it's all about like your perspective and like intention, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying. And there's a lot of you might have heard the term dopamine detox
Yeah,
is exactly what you're saying. Like people will try to have these, mini life interventions where they won't scroll on social media, they won't, eat junk food a lot. They won't do these things that are providing these intermittent dopamine spikes that they think is, frying their ability to concentrate and engage in more serious tasks. And I do think that can have an effect. But the thing is, dopamine is just one example of what I'm talking about. You can peel back a layer and say, we might not have all the research, all the science to identify what these mechanisms are, but there's also a chemical or some, mechanism that's determining how willing, how much of an inclination you have to engage in the dopamine detox and to take that step to, to reflect and say, I want to boost my dopamine like this 5%, whatever, marginal amount you can change it. So at the end of the day, all these things, I think we have kind of a baseline propensity to do, to accomplish. And that is ultimately out of our control. We're not just born with, the willpower, or excuse me, we are born with a set amount of willpower to do these things, to have these interventions, just like we're born with a set amount of dopamine. Some people are deficient and they go on things, like Vyvanse, Adderall, all these medications for ADHD. These are things that are at their root out of our control, and we can take steps to ameliorate them, but our proclivity to take steps is also out of our control. Some people do not possess, the same willpower as another person to rise above. So I do think that a lot of these things are deterministic in nature. But that doesn't mean, again, that's why when I was talking earlier about free will, I think it's very helpful for people to believe that they have total control, because you never know, what your baseline is unless you try. So you might as well just believe you have the perfect ability to, change your lot, your destiny, whatever it is, and just do it and see if it works out.
Absolutely love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I absolutely love that idea. That especially like people like I feel like I learned so much from studying animals, and it connects so much to what you're saying, and that's why I brought up like the goats and the cats. It's like at the root of it, there's always something like physical or mental, which is also physical, controlling us in every single action. So it's
Right.
hard to say we are like a controller when we are still just like a being, just like
Right.
a physical being in the world. So like what is making decisions? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I love what you said about, the difference between humans and animals being primarily that animals behave via impulse. And that's the separation, is that we have the ability to take a step back and kind of examine our impulse and to contemplate, you know. But what you're saying is so true. And the way fundamentally that I came to this perspective is I thought that, as you said, I am my body, but more specifically, I am my brain. My brain is this incredibly complex, more than, again, we have the science to currently understand, organism that that dictates me, that governs me. So, just as you said, we are, a person, but we are at our root a body. We are a body, and our body is that's going to be the tip of the chain of events that ultimately produces an action. So yeah, that's kind of how I came to this way of thinking. It's just what you said about, biology versus psychology versus consciousness.
You guys,
Wow,
he's my roommate, man. But hey,
bro.
you guys got less than a minute.
That wow. I love it, Seth. Thank you so much for coming on, bro.
If
Thank
you
you, man. This is amazing. I'm telling you, this is like making me want to go back to college. I'm getting kind of sad, dude. Wish we were back in the dorm room, Amir. We would have been hitting these like every night.
Back in Smith, bro.
yeah,
Back in Smith, fourth floor.
World Two, baby.
Yes, sir.
Man, bro.
The
Hey,
finale.
Finale. Shout out Dana. Shout out Tim. You know.
are those like
Always.
custodians?
Yep.
Hey,
Those are
what's
our
our
guys.
mate that Cummins name up top?
Richard.
Shout out Richard, man.